Hello guys, welcome to another video. So I received another revelation, and the way it was explained to me, it was explained so simply. I hope you guys will get the message too. But so I received this revelation in the shower, and you might be like, my goodness, until about TMI. But I'm just like, I'm letting you guys know this because this is how God gets the glory, okay? He reveals things to us when we are most rested, okay? Because if I told you guys, oh, I received this revelation after praying 8 hours and worshiping 3 hours and doing all that, God don't get the glory from that. So I was literally doing nothing. And then he planted the Holy Spirit download, ka-ching, in my head, zzz, download. And yeah, and just like receiving tongues, okay? Some people think, oh, if I pray super hard, I would receive tongues. Guess what? You know the early apostles, when they were in the upper room, they were not praying, they were not fasting or doing anything crazy, okay? Well, not crazy. I mean, like, they were not doing anything. It literally says that they were sitting down, and then they received this tongues of fire. And that's how I received my tongues also. I was like praying and doing all this stuff, but the moment I lay my head on my pillow, then suddenly my mouth started moving and I received my tongues. Okay, another video on that later. Back to the revelation, okay? So I was sitting there, so I was showering, and then I was thinking, like, my hair is still wet, so I was thinking, like, you know, I read this quote about how we are God's house, and that's all the value we need. I'll say it again. We are God's house, that is all the value we need. And I was thinking, okay, if I'm God's house, how to become a house? You see, don't you guys ever think that? If God says, you are my temple, and then you're just like, how do I become a temple? You know? Or if God says, you're my friend, how do I become a friend? Don't you guys ever think that? So I was like, how do I become a house? And then the Holy Spirit was like, well, define a house. And I'm like, well, a house is a building, an empty structure. Then he's like, then when does a house become important? When a house becomes a home. Because the whole point of a house being made and created is so that it could eventually become a home. Because it's sad if the creator built the house and the house remains empty and never and no one ever dwells in there, you know, then that's sad. The point that a house is created so that it could become a home, right? And then the Holy Spirit's like, okay, this is a conversation between me and the Holy Spirit, right? And the Holy Spirit was like, okay, define a house for me, and then define a home. So I'm like, a house is an empty building. A home is when a house, someone moves into the house, brings all their stuff in there and turns the house into a home. And then the Holy Spirit's like, so what about the person that goes into the house turn it into a home? What do they do? Well, they customize it to suit their preference and to their presence. The presence of the family makes a house a home. If there's no presence, there's no home. It's just an empty house. And then the Holy Spirit's like, I think you're getting it. And I'm like, I get it. Okay, I'm gonna explain it to you guys. So, we are God's house, right? We are his temple, and we're just empty vessels until God moves in, Jesus moves into our heart. And when we open our doors to him, the doors of your heart, he moves in. He brings all his things with him, his word engrafted into you. And yeah, he brings his best of all. He brings his presence. And then you become an empty house to a home. And all you have to do is surrender to whatever Jesus wants to do. Right? Okay, that is what I've learned. And I'm wondering if there's anything else the Holy Spirit wants me to say. Give me 1 second. He's saying that I talk too fast. I will work on that. Okay, that's all I have. See you on the next video. Bye bye. If he does mention something, I'll just make a short. I like making shorts. They're fun. See you on the next video, guys. Bye.